Good.
At the same time, there was also an increase in the number of adverse events that has been reported by the trial sites.
Example?
For example, there's increased numbers of deaths and hospitalization of the trial subjects while they were being in a clinical trial as compared to the year before. Okay.
In the most recent case, Malaysia.
In the most recent case, there has been one subject that has not been given the appropriate treatment while he's on the site, while he's on the trial, and thus has resulted in hospital. The patient was involved in an accident and he was hospitalized and suffered several fractures in this case.
Okay, continue.
Thus, I would like to propose 3 measures in which we can try to overcome this problem.
In which we can try to overcome.
This problem. So number 1, we should educate the investigators about the importance of good clinical practice or GCP to ensure that they have proper understanding of what they should do when they are involved in a clinical trial. And number 2, we should implement measures that the trial subjects that are involved in trials are able to report to us if they see any misconduct in the trials that they are involved in.
For example,
they can write to an email address that we can include in the informed consent form so that all the subjects are aware of how they could report to us in cases of misconducts.
And misconducts mean?
Misconducts means that they are not properly compensated by the investigators, or they are being made to do extra treatments by the trials that are not necessary.
Alright.
And number 3 is to conduct more GCP, good clinical practice inspections at the trial site, so that we are able to identify the sites that are not following the good clinical practice that they are supposed to.
At the moment, the number of visits are?
At the moment, the number of visits are 20 a year,
and I would like to recommend to increase
this number to 25.
Okay.
And this issue is important because because there's a lackadaisical attitude among the people conducting the trials that jeopardizes the safety of the subjects in the trial. And
Number 2,
the rights of the subjects are being ignored. For example, the patients that have taken the time and patients to take part in the trials are not properly compensated by the sites. And number 3, there has been reports of data fabrication by some certain trial sites, and thus this will so as regulators, we now are not sure whether the data generated by the sites are credible and can be used to support the registration of the product.
Therefore,
I would urge the GCP section to accept my proposal and to take the recommended steps to address the lack of GCP compliance in the clinical sites. Thank you.
Okay, very